He came to his native village to visit his father's grave, but he didn't even manage to reach the cemetery. Serhii is one of the many Ukrainians who blew up on the mine.
Пам'ятаю дим.
I remember the smoke, the explosion, the rocks, and that's it. I lost consciousness. I tried to stand on my leg, but I couldn't. My trousers were covered in blood and a bone on my side.
He didn't immediately understand what had just happened. When he heard the explosion, neighbors came running to help. The local hospital gave the man first aid, but it was not enough. Only the next day, volunteers took the man to Kherson under shelling. Here, he is undergoing treatment and preparing for surgery. He will have to undergo long rehabilitation, which can take several years. Then he will have to learn how to walk again.
Кістка перебита.
The bone is completely fractured. I was very lucky. They said that people with such injuries barely ever survive, and if they do, it's rare to save a leg. So I was lucky, very lucky.
Because of the war unleashed by Putin, part of Ukraine has turned into a minefield. The Kherson region is #1 in terms of the scale of danger. A large amount of explosive objects now remains on the territories deoccupied from Russian troops. In 2022, fierce fighting was taking place just a couple of kilometers from Serhii's home village.
Багато таких випадків сталося, що
There were many such cases when tractors, cars and just people like me carelessly went off to the side of the road where everyone walks and ended up being blown up by a mine. All of them were left with injuries.
Ukrainians suffer mine explosive injuries almost every day. Since the beginning of the full-scale invasion by the Russian army, nearly 300 civilians have been killed by mines. About 1,000 civilians have been injured. This is the official data of the State Emergency Situations Service. Every day, sappers clear the Ukrainian land, but the constant shelling only adds more work.
We clear everything from mine, but they add more. Just 2-3 days after we demine everything, Russians strike again. So go and inspect the fields one more time. Rescuers also work with us. We help them, they help us. That's how it is, united.
The Russian occupants leave behind all types of mines available to them. The most common are wire traps, sappers say. They are found on roadsides, in wooden areas, even in residential buildings and on the bodies of the dead. It takes a lot of time to check the liberated settlements.
We demined the cemetery in the village of Novo-Alexandrovka. There were 3 rockets sticking out near the cemetery. When I started to go around it, I realized that it was a minefield there, a minefield next to the cemetery. I don't even understand why.
The only way to protect yourself is to be careful and always look under your feet. The sappers are examining every centimeter of territory step by step, clearing the Ukrainian soil. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Daria Litvinenko, UATV News.